Okie dokie. Game 5 here. Chapel on board. Scrying pool is a thing. Margrave also attacks your opponent. Quarry with the plus buy can be nice to gain plus actions, but at the end of the day, what are you trying to do here, right? You could attack your opponent with Margrave, that's all well and good, but there's no payload outside of gold, 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 and gold, and the Margrave. So, I mean, you could go for the Scrying Pool, but it's not terribly needed. In and Margrave is sufficient for an engine. I mean, either way, if you're going Chapel Potion or Chapel Silver, you need the Chapel, is what I'm saying. You need the Chapel. Me, I'm gonna go for the Chapel and the Quarry. There's a couple nice things you could do with the Quarry here. Build the engine up very, very quickly because Stonemason exists. Stonemason exists. So I'm gonna pick up the Quarry here. My opponent goes for the Potion. That's Yeah, that's fine. That's reasonable, I think. You would obviously want to try to buy a Quarry as soon as possible, of course. 2, I pass on the Duchess there. Yeah, I don't really want the Duchess. Why would I want the Duchess? I don't really see much point for the Duchess. It can collide with the Chapel and just cause a lot more trouble than it is worth, and obviously not going to pick up a Stonemason. Right, I'm probably going to Stonemason overpay into 2 action cards, so I'll get the Stonemason then. Right now is of very little use to me to have that in the deck here. I am going to cut 3 coppers from the deck, and now I'm going to buy the Duchess because I cut 3 coppers from the deck. I want a little bit of econ, right? Don't want to over trash, especially if you're building a deck where money is the payload. So here, because of that, I don't cut my whole hand. Instead, I just cut 1 copper and pick up a silver. Um, Here I'm happy I bought the Duchess now, because now what I can do is something very nice. Stonemason overpay here for 2 3-cost cards, which turn out to be In and Margaret because of the Quarry. I should mention that on the opposite side of the table, my opponent also had their Chapel collide with their opening buy, which was the Potion, so they have not been able to pick up a Potion yet, and in fact it seems like there's a bit of bad luck happening there too. They had better luck with the Chapel in that they were able to cut off an estate earlier than I did, but yeah, this Quarry is starting to show its worth right now, allowing me to pick up In and Margaret, and this is the first Grand Pool for my opponent, so that's quite a bit late, but I have one now. Obviously going to play the Margrave here to look for the Quarry. I don't find the Quarry, so I'm going to pick up a Potion now. Scramble is going to be important. It usually is whenever it's on the board. Draw up a lot of actions, and then In has some space to, filter cards with. Duchess alone here with the Quarry is going to be the same play as before. Overpay with the Stonemason to pick up Margrave and In. So I have quite a bit of draw and quite a bit of plus buys now. So I should be in decent shape, especially here that the In and the Margrave line up nicely. And my opponent doesn't play their Margrave this turn. They have picked up a Margrave last turn, but they don't seem to be able to find it on this turn here. The Chapel gets discarded here. I really want to start cutting out. I have all 3 coppers, not coppers, all 3 estates in my deck. Really want to start getting rid of those things, but that ain't happening anytime soon, it looks like. So what's going on? Usually the Chapel Potion opening there is that really you're just buying Scrying Pool, right? And you need to do a little bit more than that, I feel, because this Stonemason goes because I have duplicates and I'm gonna buy more here anyway. And in any case, I can't play it. I don't have the actions yet, anyway. So what I can do here is something very nice. Just overpay by a Potion to pick up 2 Scrying Pools, and then overpay again by 3 to pick up another pair of In and Margrave. And with the In, I could stock that deck with the In, the Margrave, and the 2 Scrying Pools that I just bought. Brilliant. Brilliant. Excellent work, Stonemason. So yeah, what I'm saying with the Chapel Potion open is that you kinda neglect your economy because you have the potion floating around, right? The quarry isn't that much better, but at least it's a copper and versus a potion which can't buy anything except the scrying pool. At least the quarry can, get you up to gold at some point or something. And it can also look at this. This is incredible. What the quarry with the plus buy has been able to do with Stonemason on the board. This is amazing. I have like so many action cards in so few turns. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I'm actually surprised my opponent didn't pick up a quarry sooner. I haven't seen the kind of work he was putting in here. So at this point now, I'm able to draw nearly my entire deck. So what I want to start doing now is start adding payload. I was hoping that I had $6 in the deck to get to gold, but I don't have 5. So what I am gonna do is get rid of the last few estates and the stonemasons here, and now start to add payload in the form of, I believe, is this the royal seal? Yeah, this is the royal seal, I believe. Yeah, so next turn I can buy gold. I have lots of drop. 2 more scrying pools just added to the deck. That is insane. Just pick up 2 scrying pools for the cost of a potion. That is so good. So cheap. Incredibly cheap. 6 here is going to be a Margrave for my opponent, but I don't believe they have any ins yet, so still just 1 Margrave a turn for me. And actually what ends up happening here in very short order is a resignation from my opponent. Yeah, they felt probably that they were too far behind to catch up at this point. So Quarry put in a lot of work with that stonemason. Incredible. So that's how the match finishes. For those of you who don't know, it's best of 7 effectively, and this is my 4th win. So we stopped here and called it the match. So I progressed to round 3, and hope hopefully I'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Feedback, as always, is welcome.